She grew up in one of the most photographed families on the planet. Her face appeared on magazine covers before she could even walk. Every outing with her parents was a global spectacle. Every smile captured, every tantrum dissected by millions of strangers online. The world thought it knew Suri Cruise. But what the world was watching was a carefully constructed image. And behind that image was a little girl quietly collecting wounds that nobody in Hollywood bothered to acknowledge. Now, years later, she has spoken. Not through a press release, not through a tearful interview, not through a publicist's carefully worded statement. She has spoken through the life she has built, the name she has chosen, and the choices she has made with calm, unflinching clarity. And what she is saying has shaken people to their core. To understand where Suri is today, you have to understand where she began. She was born on April 18, 2006, at St. John's Health Center in Santa Monica, California, arriving into a world of flashing cameras and celebrity hysteria. Even before her arrival, she was considered Hollywood royalty, and her debut portrait, a high-profile Vanity Fair cover story, became a global sensation when she was just 6 months old. Her parents, Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes, were one of the most talked-about couples of that era, a pairing that riveted the public with its intensity, its whirlwind romance, and the spectacle of Tom jumping on Oprah's couch to declare his love. To the outside world, this family had everything: fame, wealth, beauty, adoration. But inside their world, something far more complicated was unfolding. Katie Holmes had entered the marriage young, in love, and perhaps not fully prepared for what being Tom Cruise's wife actually meant. It meant Scientology. It meant surveillance. It meant a life where the people around you were not always your friends, but the church's eyes and ears. Reports emerged that Holmes worried she was being followed by representatives of Scientology, including the mysterious occupants of vehicles seen parked close to her apartment. Friends noticed that she rarely went anywhere alone. Her movements were monitored. Her privacy was not her own. And as Suri grew from a baby into a curious, wide-eyed toddler, Katie began to feel something shift inside her. Not just unhappiness, but fear. A very specific, very maternal kind of fear about what kind of future awaited her daughter if she stayed. Holmes was reportedly eager to prevent Suri from being indoctrinated in her father's strict religious beliefs, and feared that Cruise was planning on sending Suri to join the Church of Scientology's Sea organization, which former members have described as embodying an odd mixture of military and corporate management styles. For a mother staring down that possibility, the calculation became simple, however terrifying: leave or lose her daughter to a system she had no faith in. And so Katie Holmes did something that very few people in that world had managed to do before her. She planned her escape with extraordinary precision. Holmes devised a strategic and calculated plan to escape her marriage and maintain full custody of Suri. She reportedly rented a secret apartment in New York City to escape to following the divorce, and set up 3 law firms in 3 different states in case she would have to fight her ex-husband outside of New York. She changed phones. She was careful about what she said and where she said it. She filed for divorce while Tom was filming in Iceland, ensuring he would not see it coming. He discovered the news during a phone call, and the divorce was settled in just 10 days, making it one of the quickest in Hollywood history. Katie had been willing to sacrifice everything: her career momentum, her social circle, her sense of safety, to win the one thing that mattered: her daughter's freedom. In a deposition years later, Tom Cruise himself acknowledged that one of the reasons Holmes filed for divorce was to protect Suri from Scientology. Those are not the words of tabloid speculation. Those are his own words, spoken under oath. And they tell a story that no magazine cover ever could. Suri was 6 years old when her parents' marriage ended. 6 years old when the household she knew, the routine she depended on, and the daily presence of both her parents simply stopped. Children at that age do not process loss the way adults do. They do not have the language for abandonment, for estrangement, for the complexities of religious doctrine intersecting with custody law. What they have is feeling. The feeling of absence. The feeling of a chair at the dinner table that stays empty. The feeling of walking into a room and sensing that something important used to live there. After the divorce, Holmes and Suri escaped to New York, beginning a new life with just a few suitcases and the hope that distance could save them. Katie threw herself into protecting her daughter from both the media circus and the ongoing weight of what they had left behind. She walked Suri to school. She cooked dinners. She showed up every single day as the parent who chose to stay. Meanwhile, Tom Cruise went back to doing what Tom Cruise does. He hung off skyscrapers. He raced motorcycles through explosions. He broke records, broke box office numbers, and broke every stunt coordinator's nerves. The New York native provided child support payments for Suri until she turned 18, totaling $400,000 a year, and was required to cover all of her medical, dental, insurance, education, college, and other extracurricular costs as per court documents. He paid the bills. He just did not pay a visit. According to reports, Suri has not been seen in public with her father in many years, and all signs point to an estrangement between the pair. No confirmed sightings. No photographs. No public acknowledgement. The man who once called her a miracle, who gushed about her to every interviewer who would listen, essentially vanished from her daily life the moment the marriage ended. And Suri grew up in the shadow of that absence. She grew up watching a father who was everywhere on screens and nowhere in her life. She learned, the way children of absent parents always do, to stop waiting, to stop checking the door, to carry the weight quietly, so the parent who stayed would not have to carry it too. She channeled everything into what she could control. Suri attended New York's prestigious LaGuardia High School of Music and Art and Performing Arts, the same school that produced stars like Timothée Chalamet and Nicki Minaj. During her time there, she participated in school productions, including portraying Morticia Addams in The Addams Family, a new musical. She played guitar. She studied fashion. She built herself, piece by piece, into a young woman with interests, passions, and an identity that had nothing to do with a famous last name. And then came the moment that sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. In June 2024, Suri graduated from LaGuardia High School with her name listed as Suri Noel in the graduation program. This change was seen as a tribute to her mother, Katie Holmes, whose middle name is also Noel. Sources suggest that Suri's decision reflects her desire to honor her mother and establish her own identity separate from her father's public persona. It was not a rage-fueled act of rebellion. It was something quieter and in many ways far more powerful. It was a young woman carefully, deliberately, and publicly choosing who she belongs to. She did not curse her father's name. She simply stopped using it. Tom did not attend her graduation. The Top Gun actor was instead spotted at a Taylor Swift concert in London the following evening. That detail did not go unnoticed by the public, and the internet's reaction was swift and unforgiving. While his daughter crossed the stage to collect a diploma and stepped into adulthood using a name that honored her mother, he was photographed in a stadium thousands of miles away. Whatever internal reasoning existed for that choice, the optics told a story that needed no caption. Following her graduation, Suri enrolled at the prestigious Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, beginning her freshman year and taking a significant step toward personal autonomy, placing herself in a new environment away from the constant paparazzi attention of Manhattan. She is studying fashion, pursuing the creative interests she developed on her own terms, in a city where she can walk to class without being shadowed by cameras. She is currently a sophomore at Carnegie Mellon, where she lives on campus and fully immerses herself in the college experience, and frequently returns to Manhattan to visit her mother. By all accounts, she is doing well. She is focused. She is grounded. She is, by every measure, someone who survived something difficult and came out the other side with her dignity intact. It has now been 14 years since father and daughter have had any contact at all, by most credible accounts. 14 years. That is not a gap caused by busy schedules or complicated logistics. That is a choice, sustained over more than a decade, that Suri has had to make sense of entirely on her own. And when she was asked in a film project connected to her mother's work to contribute her voice, she did so quietly, without announcement, without drama. She has not given a single sit-down interview about her father. She has not posted grievances on social media. She has not used her platform to settle scores. What she has done is something far more mature. She has simply lived her life, loudly enough that the living itself became the statement. When Tom Cruise was asked by a reporter what an ideal Father's Day would look like, his response was unexpectedly awkward. "Just having fun, man," he said. "Making movies, big adventures, having a great time." No mention of his daughter. No acknowledgement of the day's meaning beyond his own enjoyment. It was the kind of answer that speaks louder than any scandal, any leaked document, or any tell-all memoir ever could. Because it confirmed what Suri has apparently already accepted. Some people are simply not able to show up, no matter how much they once claimed they would. Katie Holmes, for her part, has expressed only pride. "I'm proud of my daughter," she told Town and Country after Suri's graduation. "I remember being this age, this time of beginnings. It's exciting to learn about yourself, and I love that time, so it makes me happy to think about it like that." A mother who fought with military precision to give her daughter a chance at a normal life, watching that daughter step with grace and confidence into exactly that. There's a certain justice in it. Suri Noelle Holmes, and that is her name now, fully and completely, is 20 years old. She's a college student in Pittsburgh. She plays guitar and studies fashion and takes the subway like everyone else. She is not the tragic figure that tabloids spent years trying to make her. She is not a cautionary tale. She is not defined by the father who was absent or the marriage that collapsed or the religion that drove a wedge through her family before she was old enough to understand any of it. She is defined by what she built from the wreckage, a quiet, steady, powerful life that belongs entirely to her. The truth she has told the world is not written in words. It is written in a name change, a graduation program, a college dorm, and a last name she chose for herself. And perhaps the most shocking thing about that truth is how simple it is. She is okay. Despite everything, she is okay. And she got there by letting go of the one thing that was never really hers to carry, someone else's choice to stay away.